What's going on, guys? It's your favorite mortgage lender, Abdel Khawatmi. Got mortgages. Sorry about the delay. Got a little tied up. Just wrapped up a successful closing, and also we are in the process of successfully wrapping up another potential deal that we're trying to clear to close. But what the heck do we have going on in the market? There has been so many shifts and changes since we all got together, right? Last Monday we spoke specifically about a lot of different things in terms of employment data, right? And then what did we get last week? We got a lot of CPI report data readings, and we got a lot of different data readings in terms of the producer price index, which was wholesale inflation. So we're going to kind of recap that along with what's the expectations for this week and then taking it from there, right? So again, inflation, as we all saw, right, is continuously now slowly making progress on a downward trend and on a lower trend, which is awesome. This is exactly what we were looking for in terms of that. Now, wholesale inflation, as I mentioned, is going down. Home prices are what we really want to keep an eye on, and that is showing that home prices are still continuously appreciating till this day, right? And then we have holiday season. Of course, we know its impact on jobless claims and the number of people that are simultaneously losing their jobs, right? Now, diving into this again, we're going to dive into the CPI report, the Consumer Price Index report. The headline number was close to about 3.4%. The core, again, under 4%, which is really the cool spot, right? We're starting to see the core CPI coming in at 3.9%. Month over month, headline nudged over zero point 0.3, core 3. We were almost as high 0.1%, the highest in 2022. And we are now wrapping up the core CPI at 6.6%, which is awesome. Now, again, inflation, guys, rose 0.3% from November to December, right? That's what we saw for the month. CPI simultaneously rose in terms of 3.1 to 3.4 on an annual basis, right? It's the lowest level that it's been in almost 3 years. So what does that mean? Inflation is slowing down. Okay. Now, with core CPI simultaneously stripping volatile food and energy prices, we also have the ability to start seeing a little bit of an increase and a little bit of a downward trend as well when it comes to certain things, right? Now, rising costs of energy and used cars were one of the main contributing factors, guys, of what we saw that were having a little bit of an impact in terms of the CPI reading and in terms of the reports, right? That actually is what helped inflation move lower. Higher shelter costs, which we all know that we're dealing with, right, in terms of slightly higher rates, which we kind of dealt with towards the end of December as it continued to tick down, all right? So, again, bottom line, when we talk about inflation, again, inflation made super significant process. It's a lot lower than it peaked where it was in 2022. The headline number now is reading anywhere from 3.4%, which is down almost 9.1%, okay, with the core at 3.9. Super important for us to understand the granular nature in terms of this because it really allows us the ability to set the expectation as to where we expect rates to move on further, right? Now, again, remember the Fed, what did they do? They aggressively went and hiked interest rates to the highest it ever was, right? From March of 2022 until we're basically now a little over a year into it, right? Seeing 11 hikes in a row in this cycle where the Fed paused 3 different times and now finally slowly started announcing a potential cut. Now, again, is this progress enough? You know, a comment came out today actually from one of the governors, which actually shared that the Fed may be taking a little bit of a hawkish tone. So really interesting to see how that's going to kind of come into play because that's not really the tone that we really got from them at their last meeting, right? Now, when we talk about wholesale inflation, so again, wholesale inflation, as I shared, came in lower. It actually came in at only 0.1% and it dropped where it was in December, which is awesome. On an annual basis, again, inflation went from 0.8 to that 1%, once again lower than expected. Stripping out food and volatile was pretty flat at that 2 to 1.8. So obviously that played a factor at the same time. Now, again, this latest producer price index report now shows that inflation is slowly slowing down and is simultaneously dropping to that 11.7% with lower producer price index readings at the same time. Now, when we talk about home prices are continuing to move higher, right? Give me one second. Home prices are continuing continuing to move higher, right? Home price appreciation, we're continuously seeing an uptick when it comes to that stuff. We're seeing a high increase when it comes to simultaneously homes. Case Shiller and CoreLogic both came out, both showing home prices were actually higher than it was a year ago, anywhere from 5 to 7. What does this mean? That means that statistically, home prices are continuing on the rise even after 2020, 2021, and 2022 gains. We still saw in 2023, CoreLogic was on pace for, check this out, a 7% appreciation in 2023 based on the last 11 months. It's always 2 months lagged. So we're going to kind of see that. But again, the 7% appreciation is huge, showing those big differences of what we want to keep an eye on for, right? So again, it kind of echoes, as we mentioned, the strong reports that we saw from Case Shiller, CoreLogic, and the FHFA with the Federal Housing Finance Agency. Okay. Now, remember, we get jobless claims every single week. What happened when it came to jobless claims? So when it came to jobless claims, we saw initial jobless claims actually dropped by 1,000, which who knows if that data is true, right? But 202,000 people filed for unemployment. Continuing jobless claims fell by 34,000. I really am slowly not paying too much mind to these initial jobless claims as they continue to be revised. But really interesting to see a little bit of that change of tone and structure when it comes to after the holidays, right? We usually get a lot more updated data readings throughout that time frame, giving us the ability to truly set the expectations, right? And then what do we have going on this week? It's a relatively flat week, obviously coming off the holiday with Martin Luther King. So we have housing data highlights. I shot a video earlier, but tomorrow we're going to get updated information when it comes to builder confidence. How are they doing in terms of what they're feeling with the market, with the National Association of Home Builders. Then the following day, we're going to get housing starts and permits. That's going to be really interesting to see. That is crucial data that may or may not impact the market depending on what the readings are to high yield builds, single permits, increase of permits, and things like that. And then we also have the existing home sales, how the home sales have been doing currently, how the home sales have been doing throughout the months, right? We'll kind of see that. Again, retail sales don't play too much of a market, but again, we're seeing a little bit of a downtick when it comes to initial jobless claims, and hopefully a little bit of a shift in terms of that consensus. So, that's about it, guys. Again, tomorrow I'm going to be hosting a live session with a good friend of ours, Matthew Marinoff, also calls himself the Short Sale Savage. We're going to dive into a lot of different things when we go over what is currently the expectations when it comes to the market, and how does the market react when it comes to that recession, right, of what we all are, quote unquote, afraid to see. So we're going to kind of keep with that. So make sure you guys tune in tomorrow. We're going to do it exactly just like this. So whoever's watching this, LinkedIn, Facebook, or Instagram, make sure you guys tune in. If you don't have a chance to tune in, I'll make sure I save the recording of it and then shoot it back on the YouTube channel for you guys to revert back to. I appreciate you guys jumping on. As always, I'll catch you guys next week. Have a good one.